Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive into the headlines.
I'm excited to jump right in.
Me too. So today we're looking at all things India.
Sounds great.
We've got a really interesting mix of stories from a bunch of different sources today. It's January 15th, 2025,
Yeah?
and we're going to be talking about politics and some weather, a bit of culture,
Okay.
and even some education news.
Wow, that's a lot to cover.
It is. It is, but I think we can handle it. So let's jump right in and start with the political scene. The Indian National Congress, a.k.a. the Congress Party, has a brand new headquarters.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they spent nearly 5 decades in their old one.
Yeah, I read about that. I think it's a 5-story building.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty impressive. It seems like a pretty big move for them.
Yeah, and it could be more than just a change of address. Some analysts are saying that this could indicate like a shift in strategy
Okay.
for the Congress Party, maybe
Yeah.
a way for them to modernize their image a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially with those Delhi Assembly elections coming up.
Exactly. Those are happening on February 5th. So soon.
I know, right around the corner.
Yeah, and speaking of elections, there's some drama happening over in the Shiv Sena UBT party.
Oh, yeah. What's going on over there?
So there's this senior leader who's publicly criticizing how their own party functions.
Oh, wow.
He's even comparing them to the Congress Party.
Ouch. Not a good look.
Nope, not at all. It could point to some deeper issues within the party.
Yeah, especially with these upcoming elections. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Definitely. It's going to be a wild ride, I think.
For sure. So while all this political maneuvering is going on, the India Meteorological Department, or IMD,
Oh, yeah?
is celebrating a big anniversary, 150 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
I know. And to mark the occasion, Prime Minister Modi launched an initiative called Mission Mausam.
I was reading about that. What exactly is it?
So it's all about improving India's weather forecasting capabilities and just general climate resilience.
That's so important, especially for a country like India. They're super vulnerable to those extreme weather events.
Exactly. So having better forecasting could be a game changer for disaster preparedness and just saving lives.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's interesting because while they're celebrating this advancement in weather forecasting,
Well,
Delhi NCR is currently covered in a thick blanket of fog.
oh, yeah, I saw pictures. It looks pretty intense.
Oh, it is. Some areas like Noida are reporting zero visibility.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is. It really shows how important Mission Mausam could be.
Yeah, for sure. Accurate and timely weather info is crucial for everything from daily commutes to agriculture.
Right, and in a country as geographically diverse as India, those forecasts can literally be life-changing.
Absolutely. So on a more somber note, there's news coming out of Madurai in Tamil Nadu where they held the traditional Jallikattu event.
Oh, yes.
And sadly, there was an accident. A young bull tamer was killed, and there were several others injured.
It's a tragedy. It always sparks this debate about tradition versus safety.
Right, because Jallikattu is such a deeply rooted part of Tamil culture and identity.
Yeah, but then events like this happen and it raises concerns about the risks involved.
It's a tough situation. It makes you wonder how you can honor a tradition while also protecting the people participating.
It's a question with no easy answers.
Yeah, it really makes you think.
It does. How do we find that balance?
Yeah, how do we find that balance?
Tough question for sure.
Definitely.
You want to preserve those cultural traditions, but you also want to keep people safe.
Yeah, that's a tough one, for sure. So speaking of things that are evolving,
Yeah.
let's move on to education.
Okay.
The UGC Net December 2024 exams have been postponed.
Oh, right. The national eligibility test.
Yep, for aspiring college lecturers and researchers.
Yeah,
And a lot of those candidates are in limbo right now.
of course. All that time spent preparing and then,
Yeah, their study plans are all messed up.
right. It must be super stressful for them.
Totally. The NTA, the National Testing Agency,
Right.
they need to announce those new dates ASAP.
Yeah. Give those folks a little peace of mind.
For sure. So on a more positive note,
Okay.
there's some good news for students in Rajasthan.
Oh, good. What's happening there?
The state board just announced the exam dates for classes 10 and 12.
Okay, great. So when are they?
They're scheduled to start on March 6th.
Okay. That gives them a couple of months to prepare.
Plenty of time to get ready.
Yeah, it's good that they have a definite date now. It's better than being in the dark.
Totally. It makes it so much easier to plan, and it reduces that pre-exam anxiety.
For sure.
And while we're on the topic of education, Maharashtra is starting admissions under the Right to Education Act.
Oh, the RTE.
Yeah,
That's a good initiative.
it is. It aims to provide equal educational opportunities for kids from underprivileged backgrounds.
Right. Really important stuff. Education is key for a fair and inclusive society.
Absolutely. And the RTE has really helped ensure that all children have a shot at getting an education.
Yeah. No matter their background.
Exactly. It's a
Yeah.
powerful tool for social change.
It really is.
And speaking of social dynamics,
Yep.
there's something brewing in Karnataka that's got people talking.
Okay, what is it?
A Dalit minister in the state government publicly questioned if a Dalit could ever become chief minister.
Whoa, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, it has sparked a conversation about representation.
Right, and those social hierarchies that exist.
Exactly. It's making people confront those deep-seated biases and power structures.
It's forcing people to see that these inequalities still exist.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but it's a conversation we need to have.
It's a good thing that he brought it up. It's a sign of progress in a way.
Yeah, it shows that these issues are being brought to light.
But it's also kind of sad that we're still having this conversation in 2025.
Right. It shows how far we still have to go.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done.
Definitely. So we've covered a lot today,
We have
from politics to weather.
of culture and education.
We're all in a day's work.
Right. It's amazing how all these different aspects of life in India are interconnected.
It is. It shows you how complex and dynamic the country is.
Yeah, and for those listening in,
I hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of what's happening in India.
right, going beyond just the headline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've analyzed those stories and looked at why they matter.
And hopefully it's made you want to learn more.
Yeah, we encourage you to check out the sources we've provided.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep learning and stay curious.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a final thought.
Okay.
What story resonated with you the most today?
And why?
How do you think these events will shape India's future?
Yeah, it's a lot to think about.
It is, but stay curious and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.
See that in the pic?
Yeah, it is complex. On the one hand, it's good that he's bringing it up.
Right.
You know, it starts a conversation.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of sad that it's 2025 and we're still talking about this.
Mhm.
Like, are we really that far behind?
It shows that there are these barriers,
Yeah,
and we need to work to dismantle them.
for sure.
So we've covered a lot of ground today,
They have.
from politics and elections.
To the weather and those crazy fog conditions.
Yeah.
And then that Jallikattu event.
Right.
And even education policies.
It's all connected in a way.
It is. You know, it's fascinating how all these things come together.
Yeah, it gives you a glimpse into what life is like in India.
Absolutely. And for our listeners,
Correct.
we hope this deep dive has given you a more in-depth look at what's making headlines.
Right, because it's about more than just the headline.
Exactly. It's about understanding the why.
The context.
Yeah, and how all these things are connected.
And hopefully it's inspired you to keep learning.
Yeah, we encourage you to check out the sources we mentioned.
Definitely. There's so much more to explore.
So as we wrap up today,
Right.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Right.
What story from today stood out to you the most?
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
What really resonated with you?
And how do you think these events will shape the future of India?
That's a big question.
It is. But stay curious and keep exploring. And we'll see you on our next deep dive.
See ya.